I'm such a sucker for a specialist, whether it's a style bender specialist or a striking specialist or a Damian Maia specialist. I love watching the guys that are like at the tip of the ability in whatever their discipline is.
And Stylebender, man, he seems to be getting better every time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for him, it was just avoiding takedowns. Like, he was so high level as a kickboxer. He's so clever. Like, he's like, in my opinion, probably the very best in the sport at setting traps.
Yeah.
He'll like gauge you, see what you're doing, then he'll switch stances.
He's getting some information.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not random. And I like the way he deals with the takedowns. I mean, he knows where he's safe and where he's not. You don't see that he's panicking. He's like, yeah, it's a minute. Let this cook a minute. But I seen what this attempt looks like. I see what this one looks like. I'm walking it through. All right, now my party's going to start.
Yeah.
His guy, I talked to one of his guys he trains with. I was refereeing some fights in China. And it's one of the guys he trains with in New Zealand. And this guy was telling me so much and showing me different things about angles they do and things that they set up in their striking that I never knew or thought about. And this was before I saw him start fighting in UFC. Everybody was aware of him, but he hadn't been in the UFC yet. And man, these guys are really smart. The techniques, like, this sport is growing so much, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, when you're seeing like really high level, super technical strikers like him, like who's a world class. I mean, as good. He easily could be world champion in many organizations as a kickboxer. To see him now in the UFC and see guys having to deal with that, it's like, oh, okay. This, like, the Anderson fight's a great example. We know how great Anderson is.
Yeah,
and he still looked pretty good against Stylebender, but you could see why Stylebender was special in that fight. He had like another level of trickery.
Yeah. And I mean, and stuff Jon Jones is doing. Yeah. But so you can't call him a specialist because, man, he does so many different styles, right? It's really like a kung fu movie, right, where you change styles.
Yeah.
And then they do something.
Yeah. Well, John's such a good kicker too. I mean, that's interesting that he started out as a wrestler, because like how much of his style now is kicking you. It's a giant part of his game, his utilization of those long ass legs. Right,
and it's interesting like how much time it looks like he's getting information a lot, right? And then all of a sudden, then when he shifts gears, it's like, okay, I've gotten a lot of information, and here's what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah.
Well, for me, what's interesting when I watch any of the heavier guys fight is like, you know, they really have to understand where they're safe and where they're not. That's something that Jon does really good. How to be in the pocket in the places where he's safe and, knowing where,
He's the best ever at utilizing his reach. Like, no one's ever been better at controlling reach and then never letting a guy reset. When guys try to reset, bam, he kicks him. Bam, he kicks him again. Bam, he kicks him again. He's like, he knows when you're trying to get comfortable, when you're trying to settle in, and that's when he kicks you. Like, it's almost like he senses it, and he just starts battering you. Like, he sees like, no breaks, no breaks, no breaks, no breaks.